Hello, this is the My Artifact episode number 3576. Today's date is 6 September 2025. It's been almost like a night at 9:50 p.m. Alright, let's just jump directly. Now, I will not gonna ask questions to myself, okay? Because today I did something very different. Today I did something very different means what? Okay, so today I had a kind of like a session, AI masterclass session. Okay, artificial intelligence masterclass session. In this particular session, they actually kind of like a teach us regarding about what is actually advancement or improvement is actually happened in artificial intelligence field. Okay, yeah, and it also kind of like tell us regarding about bunch of AI tools that make life much more easier, much more better, much more like so much good. Oh yeah. First of all, why I attend this session? Okay, first of all, let me clarify. Okay, yeah. So this session it takes almost like a 8 hour of session. It started at 10 p.m. Sorry, 10 a.m. ended at almost like a 7 p.m. So probably almost like a 1 hour of kind of like a recess was actually happened. So it's been almost like a 8 hour of session, 8 hour of continue Zoom meeting session. Okay, regarding about this uh, thing. Okay, now because of this thing, I dropped everything. I didn't really read my book. Like I read the book. Okay, yeah, this is the only thing I read the book. Okay, but I haven't really done my workout, brain workout. I haven't really done my physical workout. I haven't really done my kind of like app development course. Nothing really at all. I didn't really do any kind of like some content creation too. Like basically after I done my session, I just decided that let's do the content creation. So that's some kind of like doing it that right now. Okay, but because of this session, I drop everything and kind of like a focus on this session. That ki, let's just focus on this session. How do I supposed to use it to kind of like a something? Yeah. So so I was kind of like actually watching this session regarding about the AI and things like that. Now let me clarify regarding about what exactly knowledge do I have regarding about AI. Okay, yeah. Before this session, so like first of all, what is actually utilization? Okay, yeah. Like do I use AI tools? Yes, I use mostly ChatGPT. Yeah, I use ChatGPT for everything, like for kind of like a content creation, for finding particular subtitle, kind of like a something thumbnail and things, not thumbnail, but mostly title as SEO friendly or kind of like a things that. So this is kind of like a stuff that I do. And also another thing is that ki summarize the book. Okay, yeah, like I kind of like a copy the kind of like a text and kind of like a summarize in kind of like a as easy as possible as kind of like a thing. So yeah, I could do that thing. So for that particular purpose, I use AI, and mostly I use like yeah, like this is kind of like a thing is that I use AI. Okay, yeah, I didn't really use that much, but whatever I'm using, it's okay. Yeah, but it's just like that key, like basically when I decided, like I was kind of like a somebody so much kind of like a somebody buzz is actually happened around the internet that key you should supposed to be take AI courses. If you don't really learn the AI thing, you won't be grow up and things and that lot of stuff. Let's just that key, yeah, let's just take this master class. By the way, this master class is kind of like a somebody free. Okay, yeah. So which is really good. So that's why I took it. Okay, yeah. So I start this session, watching this session, and I learn a lot of things. Okay, yeah. First of all, let me clarify. Okay, I am using ChatGPT for most of the things. Okay, yeah. And there are a couple of things that I know regarding about AI. Okay. Most of my 90% work is actually done by ChatGPT. 10% is kind of like a simply rely when the chat GPT is not actually respond well. When this thing happened, I use Gemini or uh, Gork. Okay, yeah. I use specifically Gemini for deep research. Okay, Like like basically is this thing. Now I usually ask what if scenario, like a what if World War II not happened, then what would have happened, this and that, like a what if scenario. Okay, yeah. So that what if scenario really required kind of like a deep research. Okay, and Google Gemini is kind of like a doing it so much more better way, more than ChatGPT, more than anything. Deep research is best for Gemini, can do best. Like basically is this thing na ki most of the article is actually published on Google. Okay. So basically when the Gemini do the deep research, it kind of like a went through all the articles, not only the article, as also it went through all the YouTubes and all the podcasts and everything what is actually happened regarding about this thing. It went through thousands of articles and things and that, and it kind of like a constrain all the information into one document, and it kind of like a show it to you, which is really good. So for the deep research I prefer mostly Gemini, and for rest of the work I usually go ChatGPT. Gork is another hand which is very different. Gork is a I use for when I have text is so much longer. Okay, yeah. And when the text is so much longer, then I use Gork, because ChatGPT has a kind of like a very less. It has kind of like a constraint that you should supposed to be have paste this much amount of content, but in the Gork you could paste so much amount of content and can process that well. Okay, yeah. So this is kind of like a three tool that I'm using for regarding about AI. But when I do this session, I went through multiple tools. First of all, Cloud is one of the best for texting, like one of the best for kind of like a simply way that it create the text. Okay, yeah, it actually understand the emotion of the text, and it kind of like a simply present in much more better way. Okay, yeah. I just started using this Claude, and it is really good. By the way, my experience is I'm not gonna tell you what exactly is this thing, because I just started and it was really giving me a good kind of like advice and things like that. But if I'm kind of like using consistently and vividly, then I would kind of like a things that then I will give you proper opinion regarding about that. Most of the AI tools are just kind of like introduction tool. Like most of the AI tools I didn't knew about that. Claude is one of them. Okay, yeah. Then okay, by the way, I also use another tool too. I never really mentioned Notebook. Okay, Google Notebook. Google Notebook is a really good AI agent. Okay, or a RAG agent. I'm not really sure what exactly that, but it what it does that key whatever the document that you have. Okay, yeah, you paste that document into that notebook. Okay, yeah. So what does it do? It kind of like a something. It that AI can read the entire PDF book. Okay, yeah, and it kind of like a simply convert into the podcast, convert into the kind of like a simply summarize. It convert entire book into the kind of like a simply very bullet point. It just kind of like a create mind map. Mind map means like that key. What is actually the main point, this and that. It was really good. Okay, yeah, if you use it, it was really good. I also use this notebook, which is really good from me. Okay, yeah. So basically, these are a couple of things I use. Claude is kind of like a thing that is really new. I started using, which is really great. Okay, yeah, giving me really best advice. Okay, yeah. But there are another kind of like assembly AI tools too. Okay, yeah. By the way, let me tell you one thing. The I kind of like assembly seen footages regarding about AI videos or things like that, AI photos or things like that. Okay, yeah. And right now in the social media platform, these are kind of like a simply bombardment of so much that it just kind of like a simply too much. What I'm trying to tell you is this thing that key right now, if you kind of like simply go to the Instagram, you're gonna see so many AI photos and AI things and AI videos and so much crazy stuff. Okay, yeah, which looks really good in every possible scenario, but it the okay, what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, what is actually like what is actually my point that I'm trying to tell you. Okay, yeah. Okay, let me clarify. So let's just say a Photoshop design. Okay, yeah. When a graphic designer design a Photoshop, it went through multiple ways. It went through product, it went through shadows, light, background, everything. It kind of like a decide everything, and kind of like a design that particular design. Okay, Photoshop design. Okay, yeah. Now it's really good. Okay, yeah, but Now AI can make it even more better with very less amount of time. Like basically this thing na ki as a graphic designer spend so much hour on kind of like a making that design to kind of like a make look good and things like that, very tiny changes. But the AI can make it in just fraction of second, just couple of second. I just make it, and it was, my god, what a graphics. Legitly it was feels like that. Wow. Now because of this AI, sorry, I just had a dinner. Okay, yeah. Because of this AI, the image generation became much more easier, much more easier. Like it just like that na ki, like basically almost like a 5 year ago, this kind of like a some image is like a like basically the like basically if the image that AI is actually creating right now, if I wanted to create such an image 5 year ago, it took me almost like a maybe like a 1 or 2 days to kind of like make that particular image, because the detailing was so much. But right now AI can make it in just couple of seconds. It felt like wow, and it is so fast. So what exactly happened now? As I mentioned, the when supply is too much, like basically when there is a too much supply, then value of that thing is became down. So this is what exactly happened right now. Because of the social media is actually bombarded by the so much AI stuff, AI video, AI photo, AI things, AI that, and everything looks so good, so great, that I just feel like that ki, yeah, it just feels like that. Like right now I'm just feeling right now that ki, huh, this is AI and I'm not really excited that much. Okay. Yeah, like basically I seen everywhere. No? Like basically sometimes I can't even consider that ki this is real or this is not. Okay, yeah, so this is what it is. And sometimes I realize that this is AI, then if I kind of like a think that ki this is AI photo, then the like basically is this thing na ki like what exactly is this thing? Okay, let me tell you one thing. Okay, yeah. So let me tell you, Interstellar movie. Interstellar movie is actually made by the made by who is that person? Sorry, Christopher Nolan. Okay, yeah. Interstellar movie is actually made by the Christopher Nolan. That movie was really great, really amazing, really wow. Right? Yeah. So yeah, this is the kind of like a assembly movie. What if you imagine a kind of like a assembly scenario in the future that AI could kind of like a make a movie like Interstellar level of thing. Okay, yeah. And when this thing happened, and it is kind of like everyone is actually making the movie on AI, it became kind of like a something just overwhelming, and the value of that movies became little less. I'm not saying that value means like that it's not really good. It look really good, but because of it is lot of thing, it kind of like a things that keep it just the value of things is less. Like I just feel like whenever I say a photo of AI, I just feel like that, huh, it's a like basically what I'm trying to tell you. The the person who kind of like a creating a design, and the AI is kind of like a creating a design. Okay, yeah. Now AI create a design with much more better in very less amount of time. But as a human, kind of like a create a design, it takes time, but it's not really also not really that good too. Okay, yeah. But my perception is kind of like a change. My perception is that I am putting so much value regarding about the person, like the people who kind of like a creator design, a graphic designer creator design. I value that design more than AI. The AI design is much more better in every possible way. I completely agree that, but that human thing that a person made that particular design, na, it's very different. And this is what kind of like a things that happen. Like let me tell you one thing, na, ki AI, like I think that na ki because of the AI is kind of like something so much easier. Okay, yeah. Why is easier? It is much more easier. Like basically you can make a design, you can generate image, you can write a code, you can do lot of things. Okay, yeah. So probably when this thing is actually happening now, it felt like that ki it felt like that ki like very less effort and things like that. By the way, I'm not against with the AI and things like that. I am completely agree that the this is our evolution, and we have to be accept this evolution, and that is true. Yeah, that is completely true. But I don't know. I just feel like that. Na, the person who create particular design, I like that design instead of a machine can make design. Even if that machine make really good design, it just yeah. But it just like that. Na, ki this is my perception, and I think I might be kind of like completely wrong regarding about this thing. So this is what exactly happened. Okay, because of this thing that key before this session, I was not really knew about all those AI tools and things like that. But after the session, I know a lot of AI tools, like so many AI tools that can do so many good stuff. There is a s- uh, s- Suno AI. Suno AI. What's a Suno AI? It's a very kind of like a thing. Okay, so what does this AI do? Is kind of like a, somebody create a music. It legit create music. Like basically, is this in na ki if you put the prompt that key make me a song regarding about uh Ganpati festival. Okay, let's just say Ganpati festival in Coldplay style. Yeah, in Coldplay style. Okay, with Marathi lyrics or kind of like a, oh yeah, Marathi lyrics. So basically, if you put the prompt, okay, yeah, it kind of like a make a lyrics in Marathi, create a poem or create a song in gun about Ganpati with a Coldplay style as a Coldplay person who is kind of like a singing as a Marathi song. Okay, and it legitly create, dude. It legitly created, dude. It was so funny, but it was so awful at the same time. It's really good, but it's awful. It's kind of like a mixture of both. It is that thing. It's a kind of like it. The music is really good, but when this Marathi text blend in it kind of like a Coldplay track, it just it just feels like that. It's a I don't know how to suppose it felt really good, but it felt really awful at the same time. This is what kind of legacy with the music that it created. Okay, which is somewhat really good by the way. Okay, yeah, but still, the music, the melody is something that ki AI is still not. I don't know, but probably is this thing na ki the music is kind of like a very different. Okay, yeah, like basically, music is kind associate with our emotions. Okay, like basically we have kind of like a sad music, happy music, EDM and things and that. These are kind of like a music are mostly associated with our emotions. Okay, and the AI music is, I think they are not cracking that particular emotion. Okay, or things like that. Like basically, what I'm trying to tell you, because like I could put the prompt regarding about all those things. I could put that key, let's just Ganpati song made it with the Coldplay music and things like that. So it just made it. Okay, it just kind of like a blend the music with the Coldplay melody with a kind of like a Ganpati lyrics and things like that, without even understand what is actually meaning of that. Okay, because let me tell you one thing: when you kind of like somebody heard or something with Ganpati song or things like that, it meant to be kind of like a celebrity. It meant to be kind of like a things that key wide and things like that. You shouldn't supposed to be expected any kind of like a, somebody EDM music into it. Okay, yeah. So this is what it is. But I don't really think that it's a kind of like a problem of AI. It's a kind of like a problem of people that using the AI. Okay, if I put the prompt like a make a Coldplay music with a kind of like a really good music with stuff and stuff like that, like a make a music regarding like a Hans Zimmer, it can made a music. But still, the Hans Zimmer made a music is kind of like a associate with the emotions is much more better way than AI. Okay, so I don't know, but still in the music you can make a decent amount of music which can be really good. I'm not kind of like a saying is bad. No, it's really good. You can found a really good track and things like that. I'm not really sure about the copyright strike. Okay, yeah, because I don't know about that. Okay, yeah. So probably I'm not really sure, but you can make a music and might be you can use this music into your project. This might gonna happen. Okay. Now there is another thing. Okay, AI video called VO. VO is kind of VO or Flow maybe. Flow is a kind of like a simply Google. It's actually product from Google. Okay, yeah. Basically, what exactly happened? OpenAI is a company. Okay, yeah. ChatGPT is actually product of the company. Okay, yeah. Sora is also product of that particular company. Means Sora is also kind of like a somebody associated with the OpenAI, and Sora is a kind of like a somebody working on video. Okay, yeah. Like how do I supposed to make the video, AI video, like basically AI photos, kind of like a somebody that AI video. Okay, yeah. But Sora is not really that much good regarding about the video creation. Probably at the moment, I'm not really sure, but at the moment, but as compared to the Google VO or Google Flow, it is way much better, dude. Like basically, I can't even imagine the video was like super amazing. Okay, and the way that people created the video was like the creativity is mind blowing, dude. Oh yeah, like basically just like that. There is a kind of like a video that I watch. The couple of people is actually walking on bubble wrap. So literally they are kind of like a walking and bubble wrap is popping at the same time. Okay, yeah. It was like really cool. It is also kind of like a somebody that key a flower is actually made of marbles. So basically when the flower is actually kind of like a somebody blown, blown means like that it kind of like a somebody the petals and things like just kind of like a spread. The marble is actually spread like that way, and it just look very unique but very creative. Okay, yeah, which is really good by the way. Okay, yeah. uh I also kind of like I didn't really create the person who kind of like a elaborating this thing. They kind of like a mixture of a Harry Potter with a Nalanda University to kind of like a blend in this thing, and it made it kind of like a somebody as much a decent way. Is it okay? Yeah, but as I kind of like a slowly realized this thing that key, it is really good. It is really good as a kind of like a sort of video content creation through AI. It is good, but still lot of things to cover. Okay, what do you mean by that? Like basically, in photo or in kind of like a still images, you can kind of like basically I don't know, yeah, dude. It's just like that, na. Ki I realize that like actually graphic designer. I kind of like use AI multiple times to kind of like create my design, and it doesn't really create the design the way that I want it to be. Like basically, like if I kind of like put the prompt that key, make me an image regarding about a man doing a Surya Namaskar or yoga. So basically, it create images. Okay, yeah. Now basically in that particular image, I didn't really like the posture of hand. So I decided that ki make the hand of that particular person go straight. Okay, yeah. So that it just like I just wanted to change the position. Okay, yeah. It just it just fucked up the entire image. Like basically sometimes it just kind of like put the hand into the straight. It just, yeah, sometimes I don't know, yeah. Like every time I had an experience regarding about this thing, it just like, yeah, like basically what I'm trying to tell you is this thing that na ki as a kind of like a somebody the video generation or image generation also I'm kind of like telling you regarding about only my experience. So probably my experience might be kind of like somebody really not that good, but whatever the experience regarding about the video, sorry, image creation, for my point of perspective, it just not creating that well. Okay, let me tell you why I also understand that uh every AI image generator or any, okay, let's talk about image generator, then I went to the video generator. Okay, yeah. So every image generator, AI image generator is where is kind of like a taking, like where is kind of like a assembly, how does that AI generator can generate image, is because of that key millions of billions of images actually available on internet. So AI, those AI generator access those images at the same time and try to understand what is actually the user wanted to say regarding about prompt, and what kind of like a simply image which is closely associated with that prompt, and create this particular image into it. So basically what does it do? Let's just example. Okay, yeah. So if I gonna say that key uh, uh, generate a such a image, a portrait regarding about a woman which is kind of like a look really good in a sunset in back. Okay, yeah. So this is kind of like a simply to put the prompt. So what does AI do? AI will kind of like a simply search all the photo which is real photo, search all the real photo which is actually associated with this prompt. Okay, yeah. And it kind of like a simply very easy, because there is lot of photo regarding about women is kind of like a taking photo at sunset or things like that. Okay, so there are so many photos. So basically, what does it do? When he found that this is a photo, means like that there is almost like 100 photo is kind of like a closely associated with this prompt. So what does it do? It kind of like a mix with all those kind of like a only 100 images, and try to make it much better as possible as it can, and it kind of like a show it to you, right? What I'm trying to tell you is this thing: the AI image generator is not only generate image, it kind of like a something inspired from the image which is actually exist, and it kind of like a something show it to you. Okay, yeah. What do you mean by that? Ki AI will kind of like a simply have a, like basically how does it actually started is kind of like a simply, is it really required kind of like a simply data. If the data is actually available, then it will kind of like a show it to you. Data means the photo or things like that. Let's just say that ki I wanted to create an image regarding about a kind of like a simply women, which is kind of like a simply let's just say running with full side, or like basically is this thing na ki full side, and kind of like I want that ki this girl has kind of like a simply have a doing kind of like a shouting at somebody or things like that. So basically this is kind of like a sort of image very common, right? Yeah. But when I try to put the prompt, it just not making that well. Like basically when the girl is actually shouting, I wanted to this image, I wanted to kind of like make that kid shouting means like that when she was actually shouting, that means her mouth is kind of like a much more bigger, and her it's yeah, I wanted to put that thing, but every time I try to do this thing, it just didn't really work that well. By the way, also I'm trying to tell you my experience is not really not that good regarding about the image generation. And as also I use chat gpt for image generation because of that at that time I didn't really know which kind of like assembly AI model should I supposed to be used for chat gpt, AI model for use for AI generation, AI photo generation. But when during this session, they have multiple tools for image generation. Like basically, yeah, through the chat GPT, you can generate image too. But there is another tool like Leonardo, or Leonardo is really good for image generation. Then there is a kind of like assembly, I don't know, there are multiple image generation too. Okay, yeah. Now let's talk about the productivity. Okay, and this is one of the crazy thing that I kind of like I just okay, yeah. So what is at least this thing? Okay, yeah. So when you like this is kind of like a problem that I'm facing. Okay, yeah. When I try to put the prompt in ChatGPT, I just put the prompt in just couple of words and things like that, because it just like basically just typing is kind of like a, so many way much. Like basically what I'm trying to tell you, the the output of AI is actually depend upon how much you put the input, how much you put the like basically in details. Like basically you have to be, if you wanted to say kind of like a somebody make a image regarding about a vada pav is actually talking to another vada pav. Okay, yeah. So it was like basically if you put this prompt, then it will not gonna work that well. So what you have to do, you just have to make it that prompt is much more in detail regarding about everything, like regarding about how this vada pav talking to each other, how much face look like that, how, what is the color, background, everything. You have to mention this thing. And by the way, when you are trying to typing this thing, it's not gonna possible. Like basically, how do you supposed to kind of like put all those type all those things and stuff like that? So what should you supposed to do? There is a kind of like assembly tool. Okay, I'm not really sure, I just forget the name. Okay, so what is exactly that tool? That tool is that it's a kind of like a recording tool. Okay, yeah. So you just have to press record, right? Press kind of like a things and just say it. Okay, I want kind of like a something the samosa or vada pav kind of like a talking to each other. Okay, I wanted to create this image with a high resolution, with kind of like a something in very details, with very little bit of cartoonish. Okay, yeah. So I put this prompt. Okay, so when I put this, no, I didn't really put the prompt. It kind of like this tool is kind of like a record my voice. Now basically what does it do? It kind of like a simply convert that my voice into the text, and now that text is kind of like a simply explaining even more detail. and even more detail, and it kind of like automatically kind of like somebody describe everything regarding about what is actually that found regarding about the whatever stuff that I'm saying in even more detail. So and usually when you press it, the prompt quality is kind of like a more detail, so that output that you will get is even more better. So this is kind of like really crazy. And by the way, for that particular purpose, you don't have to type anything at all. You just kind of like say it directly regarding about this and just do it. You just like, oh my god, wow, this is really great. Another thing, a dashboard. Okay, yeah. Whatever the Excel that you have, okay, like I have monthly budget Excel. Okay, so you just have to put it. Okay, it kind of like a convert as a beautiful dashboard regarding about your expenses, credit, everything, and the way that it created by the pie chart, which was like really cool, really way. I haven't really used it, but it was really good. Okay, yeah. There are so many kind of like assembly chat GPT tools, or there are AI tools which is like really good. Like I just feel like that key, wow. Okay, so do I have to ask this question, first question to myself? Okay, yeah. Now I aware of all those AI tools and things like that. Okay, yeah. How much it gonna add value in your life? Okay, let me tell you one thing now. Key, it's not depend upon how much it add value in my life today. No, it will not gonna add a value in my life tomorrow too. Nothing really at all. But I need to know all those things, because let me tell you one thing. This is the AI revolution. Okay, yeah. And the way that world is actually changed, like basically the AI is actually established in 2022 or 23. I'm not really sure. Yeah, but almost like a 2-3 year. Okay, yeah. Within a 2-3 year, the AI revolutionized in a such a way that none of the technologies actually revolutionized in that way. Like let me tell you one thing. Internet is actually established in, I don't know, 1990 or 2000 maybe. I'm not really sure. Yeah, but basically let me tell you one thing. Now the internet takes at least like a decade or 2 decade to kind of like somebody go with the popularity and things like that and stuff like that. Like same example with the social media. Okay, it takes kind of like somebody couple of years to kind of like somebody be years or decade or things like that. But the way that chat gpt or any kind of like AI is actually evolving in a such a rapid growth, you just like basically is this thing na ki that growth is you can't even understanding. Like basically is this thing na ki, like I don't know the way it's like, okay, yeah, there is a kind of like example that I'm trying to tell you. Okay, yeah, in 2022, okay, yeah, at that time there is a video went viral. What that video? This is an AI video. In that AI video, the Will Smith is a Hollywood actor, is eating spaghetti. Okay, yeah. So this kind of like a video went viral. So that video is really bad regarding about it does not create the Will Smith image. It does not create it just that video is just like really horrible. Really fucking horrible. It's just like yeah. But after like right now in 2025, almost like a 3 year, the way that video created, oh my god, the massive difference that you could see, a really massive, almost like a, you just kind of like a found that almost like a 200-300% difference that you found, and which is like a really crazy. Like basically this kind of like something growth is human can't even compete that growth. So this is what I could kind of like a feeling it. And this is what this is also kind of like a, I also sense that thing, because some people are actually using AI, like I'm actually using AI, some people are not. And the people who are not using AI, those people are so many people are not using AI, or they don't know about AI. They know that, but they just kind of like a think that ki, yeah, what do I do with AI and things like that. They might kind of like do as a take a photo or things, I don't know. But the way that stuff happened, just like super crazy, dude, super crazy. Now I'm gonna ask question to myself: is AI is a threat? It's not AI is a threat, dude. It's not like I don't really consider as a AI threat. It's a kind of like a something. Let's just say calculator. Okay, yeah. Like basically before the calculator, we are calculating by the kind of like a something the manual way and things like that. It takes time. But with the calculator, it kind of like a something happen very fastly, right? So this is what exactly is it now. Okay. So this is what kind of like some new way of doing the calculation. We just have to learn through it. That's it. Obviously, it's this thing that na ki if you are kind of like still using the manual way of calculation, probably you are way behind that. So you have to use calculator for kind of like some you if you wanted to upgrade or things like that. So that's it now, dude. If you wanted to grow, you have to use calculator, or you just left behind. So this is what exactly AI, dude. Like basically, this is a kind of like a tool. You have to use AI to grow yourself. If you not just lag behind. So this is what it is. But the kind of like a somebody the AI would kind of like a threat. Like why does so many people are kind of like a consider as the AI is a threat? Is because of that the way that AI could do. Like the calculator is actually kind of like a doing solving the calculation. That's it. It does not kind of like a somebody giving you a reply or suggestion or things like that. No, it's kind of like a giving you 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. That's it. But AI can do a lot of things with text generation, with the coding, with the image, with the video, with lot of stuff. It creates the music. It just yeah. So that's why most of people are actually kind of like scared regarding about this is that will it gonna kind of like a take my job or things like that. Like I don't really consider this thing. I consider that it's a kind of like a some evolution that we are actually entering, and if you wanted to grow, we have to utilize this thing, and that's the only option that we have. And if you are not using those AI or stuff like that, you're gonna left behind, and probably you are the responsible for your destruction probably. So I think, but yeah, this is what kind of like somebody the reality that we are living. And but another thing is that ki, if you are going on this path, then AI could do everything. Well, machine can do everything. It's not that thing, dude. But still, if you wanted to, I don't know, dude. It's like that, na ki, I think that I'm not really kind of like a credible person to give you this kind of like a proper answer regarding about that. But regarding about what is actually my opinion regarding about AI is that ki, it's a new tool and we just have to learn it. Okay, if you wanted to grow on things like that, unless you just have to go back and do the manual way. Whatever. This is it. I should supposed to be end here, and thank you.